So hello and welcome to Let's Talk SEO. So Arun from Mrwhosetheboss, or Arun is Mrwhosetheboss, by the way, was a popular YouTuber with over probably 3 million subscribers, and I'm one of his subscribers, and I enjoy his videos. So he recently made a video about the declining quality of Google search, and one of the reasons he points out is the fact that a lot of it is people manipulating search ranking using SEO. He makes quite a few points over here, and I'll just go over the points and kind of answer what he's trying to say, because because a lot of what he's trying to say is not entirely correct, because he's not an SEO. He hasn't studied Google's algorithm. He's not sure of Google's algorithm updates, but he is sure that over the years the quality of Google search has declined. So he is trying to make that point, and that video is about making that point. So I'll go over the video and I will try to answer some of the questions that he raises, and hopefully in doing so, a lot of the people that are watching this video will learn more from my video on why Google's quality or search quality has been declining over the years. And it's, spoiler alert, it's not just people doing SEO.
Google search has become a lot worse than you think. Look at this. Let's say how to secure my data. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4 adverts. These are all sponsored links. Google, and I found the 3 major reasons as to why Google search is not just in decline, but it's borderline broken now. And the way that they started changing this result.
The reason he has there is SEO, and the first is results page. The second is SEO. What SEO has to do with the results page, and then third is
This results page first. Like, look at this.
Yeah, so that's kind of a little bit of the same thing, but with the results page, you also have Google Ads, so people who are advertising. But now that he will go into advertising, I'll just go ahead and give you a little spoiler alert here, is that when you're advertising on Google, it's not all fun and games, and it's not as easy as he makes it out to be. As someone who runs Google Ads for clients, I can tell you, for products, for services, it's not as simple as just putting up an ad. Google has quality standards, and you're not just gonna be able to put up an ad and then, not have Google evaluate it. And at times, Google's evaluation is so strict that even products that should have no problem, Google has a problem with those products.
You reach something.
Results page is the first. Like, look at this again. Do you notice something? Because aside from the fact that 4 ads before your content feels almost violating, the thing that's even worse is when you consider something called the above the fold. Now, newspapers never got to a stage of having so much power that they could regularly afford to stick big adverts across their fold. They needed the fold to convince people to get the paper in the first place. But compare that to now, where the entire...
All right, so he compares Google search results to a newspaper. That is an incorrect comparison, because with a newspaper, it's a lot like a website. So a website, when you go onto the homepage above the fold, all the content above that, is like the above the fold of a newspaper. So it's not a search results page. With a search results page, Google is expecting people to scroll down. Now, I admit having 4 or 5 ads on the top of the search is, it's kind of irritating. It will make you scroll down. Many times people will not even scroll down, but an increasing number of people have become aware of the fact that many of those ads are run by scammers, and so they will scroll down. And the good thing about people scrolling down is that they will scroll down not just to the first or second organic result, but they'll probably scroll down right down to 8th to 10th organic results. So the above the fold does not really matter. Hello. It does not really matter for Google search, because the same thing is with Bing search. You have the same thing with DuckDuckGo. You have the same thing with Yahoo. And so all these are the search engines that Google is competing against has ads above the fold. So people expect to see advertisements above the fold. The thing with Google is that they have made it almost indistinguishable from organic search results. So unless you have a very keen eye, or you've been using Google search like most people have from the very beginning, or you've been using it for quite a while, you will be able to tell the difference between a sponsored ad and your organic search.
Fold is just sponsored content, and it's starting to feel like Google's gotten too comfortable, either having to specifically invest more time just to scroll past their ads, or trust that the ads have what you want. Spoiler, they do not, otherwise those posts would be at the top organically without having to pay to get there. Oh, and you might have forgotten, but a decade ago, now the sponsored search results look exactly like the genuine search results, apart from a tiny little, much less obvious sponsored text. And all of that is just for when you're searching for answers. Look what happens when you start searching for products. So I've been doing a lot of searching recently for a new chair. Wow. Yet again, not a single organic result in sight, but instead an entire carousel of shopping ads. And I think there's something particularly interesting happening with these shopping ads. And I'm not even talking about the fact that, no, it's not just you. These product listings are taking up more real estate on the results page nowadays than they used to. They are 34% bigger just compared to 2021. But it's not even that. See, I do a lot more internet shopping than most people. For one video, sometimes we're buying 20 products. And so while this one is more of a feeling and it's a little harder to prove, it is really starting to feel like with shopping, Google is specifically making the organic search results bad to make the best way to shop.
So Arun alleges that Google is deliberately making organic search bad so that people click on the ads, but the ads are highly relevant. Now, the thing to keep in mind there is that Google has these two separate algorithms. So the advertising algorithm is different or separate from the organic search algorithm. The advertising algorithm is not great, by the way. And many times, if you're an advertiser, a lot of your products will be flagged for copyright infringement, or there will be DMCA flag. They'll be flagged for numerous other reasons. And sometimes, for absolutely no reasons, your products will be taken off. So the algorithm is not great. Also, with products, your ads can show up for categories that you'd never even want to advertise in, because Google thinks those categories are relevant. So it's not great. It's just that when there are many advertisers, like there are many advertisers advertising chairs, and in Arun's example, there are going to be a lot more ads for chairs, right? And when there is a higher demand for shares or people advertising shares, even let's say 10 to 20% of the people who are having problems with their advertising or the products dropping off, it's not going to matter, because in that larger, arguably ads carousel, there are only maybe like 10 or 12 advertisements at a time that can be shown, or 10 or 12 products that can be shown. And so it's only the best of the best, or the ones that have been able to pay the highest, or the ones that have been able to go, to make it through Google's algorithm, that are on that. And also, this is very region dependent. So if you're, let's say, in the US, you're going to see a lot more ads. If you're in the UK, you're going to see a lot more ads, as compared to if you were in a place in Bangladesh, where you're going to see less ads. Even the ad carousel is a lot smaller in Bangladesh, or in Pakistan, or in Afghanistan, but from wherever people are using Google. So it's not a universal thing. It's more of the fact that, there are two different algorithms.
Directly from the ads, like fits the description I've typed. A fridge that's not too big and is thin. So the sponsored results are spot on. Google clearly understands what I'm looking for. So what happens when I scroll down and look at the organic results? Okay, first up is Amazon. And nope, 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 none of these products. Okay, so let's go back to Google search and just scroll down. Nope, that's not it, that's not it, that's not it, nothing here is it. Every one of these fridges is short and wide, which is not what I was looking for. This is puzzling, right? Example, let's see what happens when you try and search for something with a little bit more detail. So let's go.
All right, and the reason why he's not able to find the organic result for a fridge is because a lot of those fridges that are ranking organically are on domains that are highly reputed or high DA properties. So many times people who have businesses that are advertising their products, they are relatively new to the market and they're not doing great organically. And so they use advertising to give their products a boost or to sell more of their products, whereas the businesses that are ranking organically or 1, 2, or 3 don't really need to do that. And also they have dedicated SEO teams, and also people like me who are SEO companies that are helping them rank. And so, which is, where this whole discussion comes in, that you should have SEO running on the back burner along with your ads if you're a new business, because Google will remove your ad at some point. It will disable your Google Ads account at some point. And when that happens, if you're not ranking organically, it's your business is going to shut down quite literally.
Back to chairs, but this time, world's most comfortable chair. As expected, the shopping carousel is filled with exactly the kinds of things I'm looking for. A varied selection of all very comfortable things with links to buy them. But then scroll down and most of the search results are just articles. List-based articles, which is a separate, very big problem that I'm getting to. So I nearly thought for a second, oh, this is a good result. That looks like a very comfortable chair for £75. And then you scroll down and you see, this item is available for adoption, not for sale. So I pay just for the chair to continue to exist. Like, what the... Oh, Google doesn't even seem to care if it takes...
List-based articles, or listicles as they call it in the SEO industry, do very well, only if they're on IDA properties. So if you have a brand new domain and you slap on a listicle, it's not going to work. And these listicles exist because they are either scams or they're selling an affiliate product, which everyone will get into later on. And there are people making money off it. And even sometimes there is, there's this link to websites that are selling real products. So usually what we do when we do SEO for a lot of my clients is if they have the budget, which is also another big thing over here, is we would create dedicated affiliate sites for those products, and they will look like affiliate sites, but they will be more informational sites that link to the products. And the reason for doing that is that Google does very well with informational content. So if you can give a Google informational content, it will rank a lot better, especially if you hide the fact that you're an affiliate marketer or you're still getting an affiliate kickback. So in many ways, that helps bring in lots of traffic. But the problem with that is you need to have a bigger budget. And most businesses that jump into this they don't have a big budget. So again, it's just really down to Google having two different algorithms. So you can gain both the organic search algorithm, you can win at it, and you can gain the Google Ads algorithm and win at that and be number one on both algorithms. And since both algorithms don't communicate with each other, you'd have absolutely no problem. So if Google flags your products, Google Ads flags your product as then knockoffs or copyright infringement or any of those issues or DMCA, whatever, it's not going to necessarily affect your organic search or organic search ranking. So, you're free to take the risk and you're free to do work both algorithms to your advantage.
Takes you to scam sites. So many times when I've been browsing for what furniture might go into our future home, we are recommended sites like Litfad in this sponsored carousel. Okay, so Litfad reviews, Trustpilot's at the very top, and warning. This company's trust score is currently unavailable due to a breach of Trustpilot's guidelines. This company has been pressuring people to change or remove their negative reviews. And even then, it's primarily 1 star. Okay, so Litfad is a scam. Beware of Litfad's customer service. It doesn't take Sherlock Holmes to see that this is a scam company. I don't see, and then even...
Scam sites ranking has been an old problem. And Google doesn't really know that a site is a scam or a spam site until it's flagged. Many times, a company that has a scam site has more than one scam site, and they have maybe half a dozen, maybe 2 dozen scam sites. And Litfad in this instance is one of those companies that has multiple sites, and they're also running ads. And so they're gaming. This is a good instance of scam site gaming both systems. So they're gaming the search algorithm separately, and they're gaming the Google Ads algorithm in an entirely different way. And Google Ads doesn't really care whether or not you show up as a scam company or if the product's a scam, because it's not a platform that sells. It's a platform that just advertises. So Google doesn't do the diligence until someone comes and reports to Google, you know what, this is a scam company. And most times that never really happens.
For searches where there's no product to sell you and there's no company paying to sponsor it, what does Google do? try to push their own services and their own initiatives. Like, how many people are there on Earth? 7.951 billion. Now, don't get me wrong, if I'm looking for a quick answer to a simple question, I appreciate how Google just goes, here you go. But in 2024, this is not the right answer. It's actually not close to the right answer. We have 8.2 billion people. And if you click into it, you can see that it's showing us the answer provided by Google initiatives, even if the answer is way more outdated than other companies' sources on the internet. But okay, you probably catch my drift by I came to my
So this is an instance of Google becoming a verb. And Google has always tried to become a verb. And it's tried to ensure that people remain on the page. And it has done that by adding an increasing number of features, by answering people's questions, by adding AI, because in Google's eyes, if you can stay on Google, you'd make more money. So Google will make more money, not people. So it has been Google's long, I think, it has been built into Google's DNA, perhaps from the very beginning, to be more of an answer engine where it can be, and not necessarily linked to websites. And I think this is part of it.
Second realization that while Google has fallen from grace, changed who they are, and started to put the user's experience second, it's not all Google's fault. A lot of what's been making it so hard to find the right web page these days is also down to the people making them. If you work online in any capacity really, or you just have really boring friends, you'll have heard of search engine optimization, or SEO. SEO has become a massive industry, with a market size valued at 1.8 billion in 2022, projected to reach 7.1 billion in 2028. The basic idea is about analyzing the way that Google's algorithm ranks pages, and then employing various tricks to make your page look as good as possible to that algorithm so that you get placed higher and therefore clicked more. And as the algorithm has changed, so have the kind of tricks you see being used. Like for including buzzwords to capture as many possible search queries as you can.
So it's easy to blame SEOs because we are responsible for helping websites rank. Oftentimes we're responsible for helping websites rank that shouldn't be ranked, because either they have bad products or their services are just lead gen services. But at the end of the day, if Google's algorithm can be gamed, there will always be people that can game the algorithm. Also, on the flip side, it's important to note that the vast majority of SEOs don't even know what they're doing. So they're just scammers. 90% of SEOs are scammers. So you can hire people from across the world, it doesn't matter. But most people don't know what they're doing. And most people have no experience of what they're doing. Most people most digital marketing agencies will get your business and then outsource it to a team in a cheaper country, and cross your fingers. A few months later, your website is hacked because they weren't paid, and so they kind of took their anger out on your website. So it's a big scam. There are only few SEOs that I personally know that are really good at what they do, and apart from that, the vast majority that I'm aware of are scammers. So it's not as easy as hiring an SEO to optimize your site. It's just not that simple.
Recipes, which should be so simple, have to start off with paragraphs of preamble about how grandma always made the best cozy warm winter autumn cookies 2024. Yeah man, relatable. People updating old articles for article. Companies, especially those with lots of ads on their pages, trying every
Keywords are keywords, I think. So I think that's what he's hinting at. So by adding keywords to your article, you're telling Google what your article is about. Now that's regardless of if it's recipes. When you start off an article or you start off a recipe with one word, you're not telling Google anything. So even though that's the natural way to perhaps write some types of recipes, if you're trying to write recipes, that's not the right way to do it. But also writing paragraph is also not the right way to do it. So for recipes, there's a different algorithm within Google, and I don't think he's aware of that algorithm, but it's something that now means that a lot of websites are being canned, especially those that were rewriting recipes for other websites. Your recipe sites are being canned. Also adding buzzwords, aka keywords. If you're keyword stuffing, you will be penalized. But there is a certain degree of and a certain number of keywords that you can add. Also, in some industries, you can get away with keyword stuffing even today in 2024, but it's not advisable. It's not good SEO practice. Those that are using keyword stuffing and they are ranking because they have a high domain rating or a domain that's exceptional rating, and that means that Google is overlooking the poor SEO practices.
Everything they can to rank really highly for searches that are totally unrelated to their brand because they know it'll get them lots of clicks and lots of revenue. Like, why does Forbes have so many articles on supplements? Well, because supplement ads pay a lot of money. To do that is being
An ad?
Okay, I think I discussed the Forbes thing before, but usually 9 out of 10 times websites are ranking for what's relevant to them. They're not going for irrelevant niches. In the case of Forbes, it was a third party that Forbes had hired, and they have kind of put all of these articles to make Forbes more money. And Forbes is a huge brand, and Forbes is a huge domain. So you can put just about anything on Forbes and it will rank. So they resorted to what's called parasite SEO to make more money. Now, it is disputed whether Forbes was involved in this or if it was only the third party, but this is a problem, and I will acknowledge that this is an issue, but this is not an issue with the vast majority of people that are doing SEO for their sites or hiring an SEO to do SEO for their sites. This is not really an issue. Affiliate marketing and affiliates links are a huge problem, and it's something Google has tried to address with subsequent updates, with the review updates, and hasn't really done a great deal of damage to these types of websites. Now, I have nothing against affiliate sites if they have good content and if they provide information to the users. A lot of the affiliate sites that I work with do provide a lot of great information to users, and we get a lot of clicks and we get a lot of sales and we make a lot of commission. Now, I have seen a lot of low quality ones that are ranking even higher than us, and it's because, again, they have a high domain authority, and I think that's why Google should do something about this domain authority thing. But I think it's just so, it's just so deeply baked into Google's algorithm that it cannot take the domain authority out of their algorithm. So if they are able to do that and just evaluate content based on the content's quality itself, that will do away with 75% of these issues that Arun had identified in this video, including the one with affiliate links.
Flooded with affiliate links. You can see this very much in action because there are papers showing that only a small percentage of review articles actually use affiliate marketing, but the majority of the results that come up on a search do use affiliate marketing. And that means, so why doesn't Google just fix it? Well, determining the quality of a result is actually really complicated. The best that they are able to do right now is to factor in the reaction of the users. From a Google presentation, what's crazy is that
that's one of the things that Google does is kind of takes a look at what people are doing on your website, and it's able to gauge the quality of the content based on it. And this is something that Google has gotten right. But there's more to it than Google's algorithm, and when just looking at clicks and the time on site, Google is also looking at the journey of the user. So if a user is searching for new cars or used cars, and they land on your site, which is about used cars, but they go back to Google and click on another listing, Google knows that this person has probably not found what they're looking for. So the user journey and the individual itself is also what Google is looking at. So it's not as simple as just user interaction, because if that was the case, click-through manipulation would still be something that the SEOs are using, but it's not. It's just now more of SEOs trying to sell courses of click-through manipulation, but it just does not work anymore.
Because Google's success has always been to do with AI, but now they are integrating generative large language model AI in ways that are mostly making things even worse. You've probably noticed an increasing number of these AI overviews when you're searching for things coming up, and you've probably also noticed they're not very accurate. They often serve you the kind of flagrantly wrong gobbledygook best described with the expression "good enough." AJ Cohn, whose research was super helpful for this video. But here's the thing. Let's assume that these AI pop-ups work perfectly, 100% of the time, which is obviously the goal that Google's striving towards. How does that help all the sites that have helped to first gather that info? The sites who've done the work, researching and publishing the content that it seems like Google is using to train their AI? Answer? It doesn't. As a matter of fact, it actually seems an awful lot like Google is trying to replace those sites. And I'm starting to feel a slightly different way. What's to stop Google from deciding to use its AI to eventually replace the need to visit any other website? So you spend your entire browsing session within Google's search page itself, and then the only way to get ahead of the AI, pay for it. Vacation, which I talk about fully in this video here. And it's effectively where online services start off by enticing users with a high quality.
The eventual goal is to only let people stay on Google, or to make sure people stay on Google for the longest time. And this is something I've said in many of my videos, that when Google brought in Google AI or Gemini AI, the goal was to make sure that at least people who had questions would not go beyond Google search. Even if Google was pulling information from websites and website owners who had put in a lot of time and effort to come up with those answers without even crediting those people. At the end of the day, this incentivizes people for creating great content, because all Google's AI will do is to steal your content, give people the answer, and people will leave Google and go on to another website and not give your website anything else. So even now, with the Google, since Google's AI was launched perhaps, and even though Google's AI hasn't been all that great, people have been seeing a reduction in the number of clicks to their website, a reduction in the number of people visiting their site. And if it's just a purely informational site, you're going to be hit harder as compared to if you're selling a service or products, or if you're providing coupons or discounts. If it's that's how you're making your money, you will not be hit as hard as if you were a purely informational site. And I think that's what Google is doing wrong. It's turning itself into an answer engine, and it's probably going to eat itself. But time will tell. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this, and if the rule is right about Google search quality going down, and if Google search is really now on par, the quality is on par with other search engines like Bing perhaps, and whether it's time now for Google's ultimate demise. Let me know in the comments below. Subscribe as always. Happy ranking.